All right, welcome to Money Never Sleeps. This is the show where we talk about anything and everything that impacts the flow of money from around the corner to around the world. And today, what am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about crypto and how regulation is going to come into play. Talking about Coinbase and the sell-off that's been happening. I really want everyone to understand what's happening here and how the CFTC and the SEC, play a role in all of this, and how uh, a direct listing is different than a SPAC or an IPO. All right, now I want to start with crypto regulation. Okay, over the weekend, and this is why don't believe the hype when it comes. And I wrote about it today. Don't believe the hype when it comes to seeing stuff on social media, on Twitter, Telegram, all this stuff. You have hype mongers that go out there and hype something for whatever reason, either to pump something up or knock something down. All right, there's an ulterior motive with that stuff. Don't believe the hype. Look at the reality. All right, that happened because there was a rumor that regulation was going to come into crazy play because Gary Gensler was going to be sworn in, and all of a sudden everything's going to change, and within a day he's going to change everything. Let me explain something about him. Okay, the guy understands cryptocurrency to the core, and it's good because now you can get a little more reality into the situation. And any regulation that's going to come by, it's not going to happen in one day. This is the people panic. People panicked. People that invest in crypto, they're used to the Vegas type of thing, where everything's fast, things are going up and down very quickly, very quickly. So they're used to things happening very quickly. But when it comes to regulation and government intervention and regulators coming in and doing things, they're not going to move that quickly. But when they move, you're going to feel it. So basically, what they're going to be doing, the regulations is coming in the United States. There's no question about it. It needs to have a fair and honest platform where people can actually go and get involved in these projects, where investors, they're not getting scammed into a deal. And that's very important, and I say it all the time. The utility of any cryptocurrency is key. If the cryptocurrency is not based on something, then what is it? It's based on nothing. Bitcoin, different. I've been saying it for a long time. It's just a different animal. Okay, where you'll have some integration across the line as things go on. Ethereum, different than Bitcoin, of course, because people are building on the backbone of Ethereum. Okay, and this regulation that's going to come in from the futures commission. Okay, the Commodities Futures Trade Commission. That what's going to wind up happening there is that they've since they try to push things and try to get some sort of clarity with what is a crypto. Is it a commodity? Is it a currency? The bottom line is cryptocurrency, if it's not a stable coin, okay, for all intents and purposes, it's a store of value. If it's being utilized for something and it's stable, then it's a utility coin. It's being used for something. Okay, I wouldn't say it's a replacement for any currency. I think it's good to be utilized within an ecosystem. Now, what happened over the weekend is Bitcoin got slapped down tremendously because people thought regulation was going to come in a day. It's not. It's not. They're really thinking this through, and they're taking the steps. They're going and taking the right steps, going to set in place the right protocols for this to be regulated the right way, as opposed to just coming in like a bull in a china shop and then destroying the growth. They're not looking to destroy growth. They're looking to protect investors and protect the investment community. Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission, this is what people are confused about. Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission, they already ruled that crypto is more of a commodity or more of a store of value than it is a currency or stock. So they're kind of out of the equation with that. What brings them back into the equation is Coinbase going public. Now, Coinbase is an exchange that in itself has to be regulated by the SEC, no question about it, because they're dealing with listings, they're dealing with investors, they're dealing with all this stuff, so they have to be regulated. Okay, and probably more regulated than people are used to. So that's going to be interesting. Now, the CFTC, they've taken their stance as far as cryptos are concerned, but we'll see how things are going to play out. But keep in mind, it's not going to happen in a second. It's not going to happen in a second. Now, where is Bitcoin going? Bitcoin, where's it going to go? I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna go up to 100,000. It's going to go to 10,000. It's going to go to 1,000,000. It's going to go to zero. I don't know, but I do know it's not going to go to zero, of course. But I do know that there is a store of value there, and you have a supply and demand issue. You only have so many coins that can be mined. It's coming. It's a couple million away from that number. You have so many Bitcoins that disappeared into the night because people lost their wallets, and early adopters to Bitcoin didn't think twice about it. They probably have thousands of Bitcoin just lost. So basically, what's going to be happening now is going to be a supply and demand issue, and you're going to have people that are going to create things around it. Now, with the regulation, as I said, the SEC will regulate the exchanges. That's what they're supposed to do. Now, since cryptos aren't stocks, they're not going to so much regulate that, but they may come in and put some guidelines there. Now, the CFTC, they can do more regulation, but I think as well, they're going to put guidelines there because every crypto in itself should have its own utility, its own thing going on. Okay, that they call it the Dogecoin. It was the doggy coin. It was a joke when it was created, and now it's becoming real. But what is it for? What is it for? There's no utility for it until a utility is put into place. And even then, who knows? There's more of a utility with XRP and Ripple's coin, even though it's not associated with the company. There's more utility there than you have with that Doge or Doggy coin. Okay, so this is where people start going off the deep end. I don't get it. But hey, it's your money. You do what you want to do. All right. Now, going back to Coinbase. Coinbase slid the last week and this week after it made a direct listing. And I'm laughing because I see the news. Oh my God, insiders are selling. They're selling. They're selling. Wake up. They have no choice but to sell. There's no stock out there. There's no stock. They have to. That's part of what they need to do to create liquidity for shareholders, but also allow other investors to come in. If they didn't sell, all of a sudden the stock can be at $2,000. Okay, then what? They're not doing that. They could do that, but they're not doing that. They have to put stock out there. So thank them. Thank the insiders for selling and giving the Cathie Woods of the world the opportunity to continue to accumulate. Because Coinbase is not going anywhere. I think they're going to lose market share, but I think that they're going to evolve. And this is where it gets interesting. I think that eventually they'll wind up becoming a more well-rounded exchange. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked, if they become, an exchange that's doing all types of crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all types of crypto. Okay, all types of crypto across the board, beyond what they're doing right now, but also bringing into the currency part as far as with governments. When it's not if, it's when they start converting to digital. When they start doing that, they'll be able to handle that as well. It's going to be interesting. I don't think they're an acquisition target. I just think that they're going to evolve because they have no choice. Smart people there. They're going to be doing some things. Is the stock a little frothy right now? I think so. I think it came up too high. They basically set the bar high. But then again, it's a direct listing. So, there's none of this stuff in the middle that you have with an IPO. Now, if it was a SPAC type of deal, it would be somewhat different. Okay, because nobody would bark when the SPAC players, the sponsors, are selling their stock. But because it's direct listing, people don't understand that the insiders need to sell. They need to sell. And I need to make that clear. Because if they didn't sell, then something you would buy for $3.25, you'd be spending $2,000 on. Be smart. Okay, understand what they're doing. All right, then other than that, as I said, with regulation, I think that regulation will come. I think it's not going to be gangbusters. It's going to be subtle, but it's going to be strong. And it's going to come in and it's going to be stable. And that's how it needs to be for the benefit of the whole crypto space, Crypto's not going anywhere. It's going to continue to flourish and grow. The utility of it all is what matters. If you have a utility, then guess what? You have value. You have value. If you don't have a utility, well, then what do you have? You have a coin. I've seen so many coins that are issued based on something or something else, and people, they created companies and they issued coins, but these coins aren't correlated to the company. So what is the purpose of the coin? And there's no real utility because they don't have an ecosystem. So what is it? What is it? All of a sudden, you have market caps and ridiculous numbers, but the utility is not there. If the utility was there, I would understand that a lot more. All right, but anyway, so we talked about Coinbase, we talked about crypto, SEC, CFTC, gave you the insight as far as insiders, in case you didn't know, and hopefully you do know. But yeah, you just be aware of what's going on in the space. I mean, Coinbase, they turned it up, and by them going public, they're enhancing the game, the crypto game, and you're going to see more value coming into this market, and it's going to be very, very interesting. All right, that's it for this edition of Money Never Sleeps. I'll be back with you and talk more about crypto, about different areas. I want to talk about more about technology and artificial intelligence. I'm going to touch on that the next show, and really bring some. I want to talk about some companies that are doing some amazing things. I don't want to go into it now. I'll go into that on the next show. All right. Anyway, on that note, you guys enjoy your day. Have a great trading day, and I'll be back with you with the next edition or the next segment of Money Never Sleeps. Thanks.